Guys, time is the only resource that we can't get more of. And I want to commit as much time as possible to putting out content that helps more people just like you. The only way that I can do that is if you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Please give me feedback and help me help you. What's up, guys? Justin Brock here this morning talking to everybody about Medicare and sales and role playing and all the stuff. I hope that you found your way to our live stream, because this is where we're going to be able to deliver information that you want. And first, I'm going to go over something I was thinking about this morning. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about how there is an economic collapse coming. There's an economic collapse coming, okay? All right, and it wasn't a doom and gloom really thing. It just got me thinking. I do believe that we are going to face kind of a shelf in at some point. It just kind of happens every so often in America, and the last one we had was 2008, 2009 with the housing crisis, and we didn't really do anything to solve it. We just threw a bunch of money at it and said, okay, let's go into prosperity, and now we just keep printing money and throwing money at stuff now. That's going to not go on forever. It never is. And there are a lot of people that you probably see out in the world that are, big money ballers, and they're doing really well selling something that when the economy tanks, people won't buy anymore. People won't buy, in my opinion, solar panels when they can't pay their mortgage. Okay, people are not going to buy NASA, siding in their house to save on their utility bill if they're worried about their car getting repossessed. There are things that people won't buy. There are incomes that are in jeopardy. If you're in real estate, if you're a real estate agent, some of those are doing really well right now. You saw last time how many of them quit doing it. Same thing when Obamacare was initially signed. A lot of agents thought, oh, there's the writing on the wall. I got to get out of it. I got to move on. You see the weak people get out, and the ones that stay through it end up prospering. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. What I want to talk about is why Medicare and anything based around Social Security billing and the care of the senior market is the most secure income stream that you can have when that happens. And there's several reasons. One, I'll start by some of the things you already know. There's 10,000 people, over 10,000 people a day turning 65. So the market is growing faster than ever. It doesn't even begin to plateau until somewhere between 2027 and 2030. And that's a plateau. That's not a cliff. That just means like the number daily on average is growing until then, and then it'll kind of stay at that level. But even at that level, it'll be higher than it is today. Okay? I was talking to Brandon Clay yesterday, and they've done this figure. This is crazy. In first year commissions for Medicare, even when you break down the total number of people turning 65 in a year on average right now, and break it down by the people that don't buy anything, to the people that enroll in Medicare Advantage, to the people that enroll in Medicare supplements, and you use street level numbers, a regular agent's commission, there is $1 billion in individual agent commissions every year in the selection of a Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage plan. $1 billion new money coming in, not even counting rewriting old stuff, just from the new money that comes in. So a whole new billion. That's not the top line. That's the average individual agent. 1 billion.
Yes.
So 1 billion of new first-year commission money. Even when they broke down the percentage that bought a Medicare supplement on average, the percentage that bought a Medicare Advantage plan, the percentage that just got a drug plan, the percentage that did nothing and kept VA, the percentage that had TRICARE. It's adjusted for the numbers, and it's right at $1 billion in new commissions every year. Not counting Medigap to Medigap rewrites, not counting OEP swaps, not counting adding to your book in different ways, not counting cross-selling, not counting life insurance, not counting annuity money, just new Medicare supplement, Medicare Advantage selection for the people aging in. $1 billion every year is coming into it. Saw some post yesterday. Couldn't decide if it was a joke or if it was true, but it said there are now more real estate agents than houses on the market. And somebody said, is there ever going to be a time where there are more insurance agents than there are prospects? No. There's not. There's going to be, 10% of the country are not going to become insurance agents. So 15% of the country is not becoming an insurance agent. And say, I'm going to service the senior market. No, it's not going to happen. There's a supply and demand law, and real estate is probably play in that market. But real estate is one of those portions of the economy, or there's the portions that are the most subject to, the economic fluctuation, right? Because when times get tough, people don't buy big houses and new houses. People don't move. They don't want to sell. They're trying to just hold on to what they have and hunker down and wait until things get better. A lot of them leave being self-employed. So they leave being, okay, I was trying to be a real estate, I was trying to be an insurance agent, but now I'm just going to go get a job somewhere. Just somebody give me a job so I can make sure I can make it through this. That fear mindset kicks in for a ton of people, right? And rightfully so in many industries. But the average insurance agent age right now is 54 in our industry. So if you're young and coming into the insurance industry, there's a ton of potential out there because, and even if you're 54 and coming in, it doesn't matter. But basically, it's an average age that is showing that we don't have enough new people coming into the industry. So when people say, "Oh, I see so many insurance agents coming in," well, that's probably because they're intimately plugged into these communities online. They're seeing them more than anybody else. There's not enough insurance agents coming into the industry. Another reason that it's secure for us is Medicare isn't going away. So you hear a lot of this crap about Medicare for All. I'm not saying that'll never happen. I'm saying it's very far away. My dad told me when he came into the industry in the early 90s that people said, "Aren't you afraid of getting into Medicare? That they're going to pass Medicare for All." Well, how long ago was that? 30 years ago? It hasn't happened. Okay, that's always been a talk. There's always been an AOC. It used to be Hillary Clinton was the AOC, right? She was the one talking about Medicare for All and single payer healthcare system. Then they tried to pass Obamacare. Obamacare turned into be a big private capitalist crony mix. There's still plenty of commissions to be had in there. There's still plenty of room for the distribution side, plenty of room for the insurance companies. But the reason that's not going to happen is there's trillions of dollars of money sitting in insurance companies that they're going to make the government pry it from their cold dead fingers. So what they're going to have to do to get that money would be become completely socialist. And if you think that's in the next year or two, you don't understand politics. The environment that's out there right now that you see about Medicare for All and socialism and all that, they've been talking like that since Tea Party and prior to. We had a little break there with 9/11 because everybody got fixated on killing all the terrorists in the world, but that's been around for a long time. So there shouldn't be any fear there. The people that are instilling that irrational fear into Medicare Gurus on Facebook, for instance, I delete it. It's silly. It's not a fear that anybody should be concerned about. But the reason that the income from Medicare sales is going to be recession-proof for you, as recession-proof as possible, is because you're servicing a block that isn't dependent upon a stable economy to continue to receive their income. And they still need health care. It's one of the biggest portions of their life, right? And a lot of what you're selling is zero premium, so that helps. But when you're talking about somebody that's sole income is Social Security, or the primary portion of their income is Social Security, do you think we're going to have a shortfall in Social Security? Who's heard that there's a Social Security or Medicare funding shortfall coming in the future? So they're going to raise our taxes because they're not going to let all the old people die. Oh, there's a Medicare shortfall. Sorry, Grandma, we can't pay for your Medicare anymore. You're just going to have to die. You guys see that happening soon? That's like right around the corner, right? Like we're just going to let them drop like flies. No, it's not going to happen. They are going to raise your taxes, though. They're going to find ways to pay for it. Payroll taxes will get raised. And that's fine, though, because as long as you can make enough money where you can afford the taxes, you'll be okay. Now, I don't want them to raise more taxes because they spend it inefficiently and they just continue to print money anyway. So I'm not saying I'm for that. But if I make enough, I can pay taxes and still be okay. So you don't have to worry about it. You keep going and helping people as many times as possible, and your income will be as recession-proof as any income in the economy. And there will be a lot of incomes that are not recession-proof at all. They'll be the first ones to go. So if you're dabbling, if you're thinking about getting into insurance and working in Medicare, or if you're in a portion of insurance, like even P&C would be dramatically affected because I'm sure a lot of those sales come from people. The bigger their house, the better. The fancier their car, the better. The more toys they get to insure, the better. you know, the umbrella policies, all the things that protect big assets. And when those assets start to diminish or houses start to get repossessed, all of a sudden those people are losing portions of their block. But Medicare in the senior market is a lot more secure than that. So if you're thinking about getting into insurance, consider Medicare.
I don't know if you guys have seen the stats, but we call it the silver tsunami. So like in 2020, there's about 55 million Medicare beneficiaries, and by 2030, that's going to 72 million. By 2040, it's going to go to like 82 million or 83 million Medicare beneficiaries, people aging into Medicare. There was more people turning 65 in this first quarter of this year than any quarter in history. And that's going to continue to happen as we keep on going. So it's a huge opportunity, and we should all take advantage of it.
Yeah, take advantage of helping those people make a decision and creating a residual income that's pretty much recession-proof. As recession-proof as anything. If your income goes somewhere that's based on Medicare, then whatever, the whole thing collapsed. The whole thing collapsed. If your income goes somewhere, that means it's the bedrock foundation of security in income in the industry is going to be from Medicare sales. If your income goes somewhere, there's nothing else you could have done to be okay. There's not anything else, because that means we just let old people die or starve. So if that, I mean, when we get to that point, the whole damn thing is you know, it's up in smoke. So who cares? You know, like, we're not going to worry about that. This is the most secure path. If you're looking at, you know, even if you're selling life primarily, life sales will go way before Medicare. That's something people have to pay for. You know, and it's not tied to their health care. Everybody knows that. Life goes, that's why the persistency is not as good. I'm not saying not sell life. We love selling life insurance. But if you have that core being Medicare, it's the best freaking industry in the world. It's the best one. The upside potential in it, the income stream, then the growing market, the recession proofness of it in an economic downturn. People that were in Medicare in 2008 when the housing crisis happened, their income was completely unaffected. They kept on trucking along. It was zero effect to them. You know, unless they'd like way overbought a house, but then they just had to afford it for a little while because they couldn't sell it, but they didn't need to because their income was fine. So no effect on their income at all. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to you know, instill that. And if anybody has questions about that, I'd be happy to, you know, go on a much longer and bigger rant aimed specifically at people's, you know, questions or concerns or hysteria about it. There are some people online that are in the space that are doing really well in the space and are perpetuators of the idea that Medicare for All is happening. Just because a Medicare bill gets introduced by a congresswoman named, you know, Betty Jo Wainwright from Hawaii for Medicare for All doesn't mean anything. There are bills all the time that get introduced. People keep sending me a message with a Medicare for All bill like, this one just got sent. They've been sending those bills for 30, 40, 50 years, you know, for a full single-payer healthcare system. They're not getting anywhere, okay? And this isn't an argument for whether we should or shouldn't do that. I don't care. All I'm talking about is the security of what we're doing here and whether you should invest your time in it or not. It is the most secure way to invest your time into a career if you're going to sell something.